Hi everyone listening. Hi Emily, are you still alive?
Yeah, guess I have to be, don't I? Jesus.
Yeah.
It's a good start, isn't it?
I feel like every time we record, I'm like, hi everyone, and you're like, yeah.
Yep.
Here I am.
Yep.
Still alive.
That's not true. I'm always the most positive woman at the party. You can tell from
yes.
how much lower my voice has gotten over the years. I've got a lot on my mind, okay, Anna? I've got a lot of predicative compliments to think about.
Oh god.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Not to
It's
bring,
very understandable.
Yeah, not to bring, work into our wonderful podcast, but sometimes studying for linguistics can be a bit of a pain. But if we can use our knowledge and impart it on people that need it, then I guess it's worth it in the end, right?
Exactly.
Could I make this sound more depressing? I don't think so. I don't think so. I have a couple of questions to ask you today, actually, Anna.
Ooh, it's one of them ones.
It's one of them ones. Oh, that's great, yeah. It totally is. It's one of them ones because some of my students have been talking about moving house.
Moving their house.
Yes, picking it up and pushing it somewhere else. No, going somewhere different. Maybe spending a little bit of time in the UK or the United States to practice their English. So they've been asking me for house hunting advice.
Now, Emily, what is house hunting? Because it sounds kind of like you're trying to I'm imagining like a bow and arrow situation.
Trying to attack a house and being like, you are coming home with me. No. House hunting or flat hunting, which is of course quite common in bigger cities, is just when you go and look for your next home, your next place to live in. We call it hunting, I think, because it is quite a difficult thing to find all of the different qualities that you want to have in a house, right? So tell me,
definitely.
Anna, have you ever house hunted or flat hunted before?
No, actually, I haven't. Ever. The closest that I've come to flat hunting is just like picking my university accommodation. So, no, I've never actually flat hunted or house hunted.
I mean,
have you, Emily?
Yeah, I mean, I would agree. Well, I would disagree with you and say that still counts as flat hunting, having to find a place for university. Of course, when you move to a university accommodation, they do make it quite easy for you to choose your accommodation. And in many situations, you don't actually have a decision to make because they say, you will go here in this building, in this room, which is what happened to me when we both were in Edinburgh. They were like, you will be here, and I was like, okay. That was the end of it.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not like something you can choose always. Sometimes you can have like a few options, and then they'll be like, okay, we'll put you here.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's not, I don't think it's that comparable to regular flat hunting.
Yeah, regular flat hunting I have done multiple times. Living in Madrid, I've done it maybe 3 times, and I hate it. It's terrible. It's awful because it's very hard to find certain qualities that you particularly enjoy. Normally, well, there's many ways to find a flat. Normally people go online or through an agency or an estate agent, as we call them in British English. And this is the most frustrating experience because after you find this place and you find it, the estate agent doesn't find it for you. You basically find it. And they say, oh, you can give us 1 month of rent because we found your flat for you. And it's like, no, you didn't. You definitely didn't. And it's very, very frustrating. It's quite an expensive experience to house hunt. But yeah, when I did it recently, I had to find the place that I needed the most. I needed a furnished flat with all of the, the things inside the furniture, like bed, desk, wardrobe. It needed to have an equipped kitchen as well, with things like a microwave, a stove, an oven, but it's not 100% necessary in my case because I have an air fryer. I'm one of those people with an air fryer. But
does an equipped kitchen mean that you also get stuff like pans and pots and cutlery?
I'll tell you what, I thought it did, and I think in some cases it can mean that, but in my case it didn't. I know that if you are a university student, sometimes you can be lucky and they give you some basic things like cutlery, as you said, like forks, knives, spoons. But normally you have to bring your own things, and it's horrible to move out because you have to buy lots of things again, and that's very, very annoying. But no, equipped kitchen normally means that the water in your sink is working and the electricity in your fridge is functional as well. So, like these kinds of little things. There's nothing more annoying, in my opinion, than finding a place and thinking, oh, it's perfect, but it actually turns out that the flat was staged, which basically, for people at home, means that they put the furniture in the house just so that it looks pretty, but in reality, when you rent the flat, you have to buy your own furniture, and they remove all the furniture from the flat. This has happened to me so many times where I ask the person who's showing me the flat, is it furnished? And they go, nope. And I'm like, right, so why didn't you say that in the advert then, please? It's very, very annoying.
Yeah. Do
you're
you
not
just
missing
say unfurnished if it's not furnished?
Exactly. If you buy a house, it's quite common to buy it unfurnished because, I mean, if you're buying it, you're the person that's probably going to have their own furniture to take in there. But it's surprising to me how many flats you can rent that are unfurnished. Maybe it's just because I'm a university student and I need a bed and I can't buy my own bed. But I just think it's very weird. It's a bit confusing.
I think in Finland it's more common to have unfurnished flats. I've never heard any of my friends move into a flat, even if they're students, and the flat was furnished already. Even in university accommodation, I feel like those that are aimed towards Finnish students, that they already they have nothing basically in them, that they're just empty, and you have to buy your own bed and everything.
In a way, I can see the appeal of doing that because there is something a little bit disgusting about sleeping in a bed that somebody else was in, right? And it's kind of reassuring that if you break something, you are the one that paid for it in the first place. But if you are renting and you're renting in a furnished flat and you break something, the immediate thought is, oh no, I've got to pay for this. I don't want to. It's very, very frustrating. But
I'll say though, just as a side note, because I think this just came to my mind, I think it affects it. In Finland, usually, let's say you're doing a 3-year degree, you usually get, if you go to university accommodation, usually you will get a flat or a studio for 3 years. So you don't apply every year. You apply for the entire time. So I think it's because of that. I mean, it's more of a long-term thing.
Okay. Yeah, that's quite common in Northern Europe, no? When you find somewhere to live, it tends to be a minimum 3-year minimum. I've even seen minimum 5-year period, which to me is really scary.
Yeah,
oh my god, that's nuts. But university students, we can never commit for that long. What do you think is better, Anna, living in a house or in a flat?
I personally prefer living in a flat, but I think it's more to do with the fact that I like living in a city next to different amenities and different things. I think in general, a house is better because you have more space. Usually you have sort of more privacy. You don't have to worry about waking up the person who's living below you if you want to dance at 3 a.m., stuff like that. Usually you have maybe like a back garden or something. So I like a house more than I like a flat, but I like living in the center of a city more than I like living in the countryside.
Yeah, that's a good answer.
What about you?
I feel the same way. Like, now that I have gotten a taste for what it is like to live in a flat, because in the UK the majority of housing is houses or are houses because the flats are concentrated in the bigger cities, as you said. But if you live in the north of England, for instance, you would have to be living right in the city centre to be living in a flat. The majority of people, even though they live in the city centre, they still live in houses as well.
Interesting. Yeah.
And there's a lot of benefits that people don't realise. Like, a lot of houses have gardens, and it's actually quite nice to be able to step outside for a while and just relax. Especially during the pandemic, like you couldn't really do that unless you have a balcony in a flat. Whereas in a house, you can go outside and sit in your garden and relax and that kind of thing.
That's why I love my balcony. Like, I think a balcony is a must when you're buying a flat. I couldn't imagine just being stuck in like a box.
Yeah. I don't have a balcony, but I have a very big window. So I just stick my head out of the window like a dog in a car, and it's very nice. I enjoy it quite a lot. But there's certain things about living in a flat that I don't think I would appreciate living without now. Now that I've started, it would be hard to stop. Conveniently, right now, I can't think of any examples of that. I think it's as you said, though. I think it's the location. You can't get anything like this anywhere else. That said, in Spain, a lot of the houses are flats, so there's not that many people that even live in houses in the first place. But the thing that I always think about here in Spain that is weird to me is that people have dogs here, right? And because they don't have gardens, they have to take their dogs out like 5-6 times a day. Which is just like, whoa. We used it because we had such a big garden, and our dog is she's very old now. She doesn't even go out for walks anymore because she's so tired. She just sits in the garden and relaxes. So she needs to go to the toilet, or she wants to play. It just all happens in the garden, which is something for an old doggy would be very, very difficult if she lived in a flat, which is something that I always find myself thinking about for some reason.
No, but it is a good question. And also one of the reasons why I'm a cat person. Because the idea of waking up in the morning and having to go outside to walk your dog is not appealing to me.
I imagine, no, I agree. I completely agree. But I imagine it's good if you want to have like a routine.
Oh, it's true. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because I think that is something that we lack.
Yeah.
Yes. But that's the thing. I think that maybe if I lived in a flat as I was going to say as an adult, like I'm not an adult. Like, when I grow up, I think
Emily, you're 22. Wake up.
Stop. Don't tell people my age, all right? I'm actually 12. But yes, no, for all of the aforementioned reasons, I think that living in a house is superior. Because as much as I love the city, I intend on having many, many dogs as an adult. I was going to say it again, as an adult. When I am older, Emily, when you're older, Jesus. When I'm older, I would like to have many, 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 many doggies. So they all need to have instant access to the garden in order to pee.
And I also love a garden because I want to have infinite barbecue parties.
Ah, there you go. Well, there you go. This is difficult. It's a difficult decision to make. Have you ever lived in a shared flat?
Unfortunately, I have.
I don't know. I just asked you that question for the sake of the podcast. Because I do remember visiting your shared flat and thinking...
Yeah.
It was old. It was old. I remember
It was
we would
old,
try and record, because we used to try and do videos back then, and we couldn't record if we were in your flat because it was just, you could hear every sound. No, it was really, really complicated.
Literally creaking floorboards. I hated everything about that flat. Not just the people I was living with.
Oh, but they
but
weren't
the flat
so
itself.
bad, were they?
Oh, they were screaming at chicken at like 3 a.m. and I was like, can you let me sleep?
There's better times to scream at chicken.
Exactly. They were screaming at chicken because the chicken wasn't cooking quick enough. I don't know. But it was really annoying. And also, we only had one toilet. We only had one bathroom. And there were 4 of us.
Yeah, I used to... I know somebody who used to go to a university in London, and he had to share a bathroom with, I think, 10 other people.
Oh,
My question is, imagine you all make a meal together and then you all get food poisoning. That's my question. I didn't even ask a question, but you know what the question is. What happens then, right? Do you all, like, what if, you're in the line to go to the toilet in the morning?
But was it like a public toilet thing?
No, it was just a big old flat with one bathroom in it.
Oh my god.
I know. I felt so sorry for my friend because it sounds like torture, is what it sounds like.
It does sound like torture.
Yeah.
It's like once when the toilet was occupied and I really needed to go, I ran to the library in Edinburgh. Wow,
that's impressive because the library was quite far from your house.
No, I literally ran.
Yeah, but
so
it was
like
far
6
enough
minutes.
Yeah, that's funny. Wow, it
6
must have been
minutes
bad.
if you ran.
I'm impressed. I'm quite impressed. I don't think I've ever... I mean, I used to have a private bathroom when I was living in a shared flat, which is basically what you do if you cheat the shared flat system. Because I had lived in a shared flat in Madrid before. Now that I think about it, I've had a lot of fun shared flat experiences. Are we a story time podcast? Maybe we'll have to be at some point. So I've had a lot of negative flat sharing experiences. And I mean, it's always the typical things like people playing their music way too loud or screaming about chicken.
Yeah.
These stupid things. I used to live with somebody who would have like arguments at midnight with the walls.
Oh.
Yeah, she was an
Are you
interesting
sure it
one.
wasn't you?
She started it, and then I thought, yeah, I'll do that too. I'm gonna try that one. Yeah, and it worked. No, I'm just kidding. I think after a certain point, I decided I'm not gonna live in shared flats anymore because I think I'm going crazy.
Yeah. It was such a new thing for me because in Finland, people don't really do shared flats. Like, we don't really have those. So I remember being excited for the first time. I was like, I'm going to live with other people. It's going to be like in the movies. And then I move in. I had an ensuite in my first... in my first year, I had an ensuite.
And what is an ensuite?
It's when you have a toilet/shower, little room. Can you even call it a room? It's usually tiny.
It was so small.
And it's and it's just for you, so it's in your bedroom. And you're sharing a kitchen and a living room, but you have your ensuite bathroom. I had that, but it was still the kitchen. It's like, because I'm not like a really, really, really strict person about cleaning, but it was just a mess.
Yeah.
And it's so annoying. Other people do nothing, and I get shouted at by the accommodation staff. Like, that's really annoying.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did you ever get shouted at by your accommodation staff, by the way?
No, we were
happen?
really lucky. But I think that's just because me and other people in our accommodation were just so tired of, like, the few people in our flat that were just not clean at all. Because I think at Christmas, those people who were so bad at cleaning that were just ruining the flat actually left. So it was quite convenient. Because people, like, the problem is that if people know who it is, then you will receive complaints from the reception directly to you. It wasn't just like this flat is a mess. That means that it's everybody's fault. If it's obvious who that person is, then everybody was just like, come on. We have to tell the reception that it's not us, right? So that happened quite a lot. I mean, I never even used the kitchen. I was too scared. I hated everybody. No, that makes me sound very antisocial. I think because when I was in Edinburgh, I had already shared a flat once, and it was the only good experience that I had had. So I was shocked to see all of these people who were admittedly younger than me acting like people who were younger than me. So, maybe that was the problem that I had in the end. But I think I wouldn't do it again. Would you try it again if you had the chance?
I'm probably going to have to try it again if I want to go on an exchange during my master's degree, which I'm currently sort of planning. But I would do it again. Yeah, I would, because I've had 2 bad experiences, and I want to believe that it's not always that bad.
Yeah, some people have an absolutely amazing time.
I think it's about the people.
Yeah.
I think it's about the people. Like, if you actually get along with the people, if you're similar people, it might work. It might work out really well. You might actually get really good friends. We had bad experiences in Edinburgh.
We've been traumatized, but I think I think that you have to try it. And I think that lots of people who are considering going to the UK or the US to practice their language, you can save a lot of money, and you can make a lot of really good friends. And when it comes to learning a language, it is essential. But you know what? I say that if people are interested, they can hear all of our true nightmares in another episode. What do you think?
Yeah, we definitely have stories to tell.
God, plenty of stories. I'm just thinking about them now. There's so many. But you'll just have to let us know. Maybe you can leave some of your own shared flat experiences in the comments below.
Yeah, have you guys ever shared a flat with anyone, and how was it?
Did
anybody scream at chicken?
Did anybody play music really loud? That's the common one. That's the common complaint, I would say. Yeah. But thank you very much for listening, guys. We hope that you found out some interesting vocabulary about house hunting, and we hope that the search for your dream house will be a little bit easier now that you've learned these words.
Yes, definitely. We hope you enjoyed.
Yes. See you later. Ta-ra!
See you later, everyone. Bye. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave a comment below if you have any questions related to the topic, and we will try our best to respond to you. Please subscribe to the channel for a new podcast episode every Saturday, as well as essential tips during the week. See you next time!